Remember, the principles of developing are the same, whether I'm doing 150 flats, 14 flats, or 3 flats. The builder has to be organised and disciplined. And a quick tip for you, he should keep the site tidy. If the site isn't tidy, the chances are they won't be on time when they finish the job, and they'll be in chaos during the job. When I started out in my career, I never thought I would be developing 100 plus blocks of flats. However, that's what's happened. And as long as you become an expert in your field, there's lots of ways to make money out of property. Talking about experts in their field, to demonstrate my point, I'm going to take you to a site which I purchased without planning permission and sold on to a friend of mine. Let's see what he's got planned. Matt, great to see you here. You're a young developer who's really got on and made some great decisions. One of your best decisions you've made, Matt Parnell, as far as I'm concerned, is buying this site off me, which I bought without planning permission. I then obviously sold it to you with planning, and you're the one who's going to make a huge profit out of it. Congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Obviously, I've only really ever done flats and conversions. I've done very little new build. You, on the other hand, are the new build developer. A young, aspiring developer. There aren't that many of you about, in my view. Most people seem to be involved in HMOs, buy-to-lets and so on. It's great to meet and know someone like yourself.
Yeah, it's a slightly different strategy from yours, John. I mean, basically, I qualified as a mortgage advisor about 13 years ago, and having done a 5-year stint in a corporate estate agency, I ended up seeing lots of deals come through the door. And yeah, we pick up these things every so often. Obviously, as you say, this site we bought off you subject to planning permission. Now, at the time, we did go in for planning. Over the last sort of 12 months, we went in for planning for 9 houses. Unfortunately, that got refused. They class this area as the district centre, which means they're looking for more commercial developments. So finally, we did achieve planning on the site for 9 ground floor commercial units and then 9 duplex apartments above that, all with roof gardens. So a very sought after, exciting development.
Well, sounds like I didn't charge you enough for it, Matt, if you went on and got a better planning permission than I thought you could get.
Well, there you go. You've got to try these things, haven't you?
I'm impressed.
So yeah, it's going to be an exciting one, and we're hoping to start in September.
Great. And do you do this on your own, or do you have a partner? How does it work?
So the reason really works for us is I started doing single new builds on my own, and that was okay while I had a job, managing them myself and carrying on 2 or 3 of those. Unfortunately, when we get to the bigger developments, it was virtually impossible to then manage the projects and develop myself.
Yes,
so
I can understand that.
So I teamed up with a good friend of mine. They hadn't had a construction firm, and we created a joint company. So basically the way it works now is I go away, source the deal, get the funding, investment, look after the planning permission, and basically package the deal until it's ready to build, and then those guys crack on and build out the site. And that works really well for me and them, because we share the profit and we've both got our own skill sets, and combined it's going good. And
you then get involved at the end to sell the product, or to rent the product out, whatever you're going to do at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, also I'm helping manage it all the way through, from the office side of it, arranging all of the stage releases, drawdowns, financing.
So you do the finance, they do the build. It's a great partnership. And if you're going to have a partner, there's no point having a partner that does the same thing as you. You need a partner that is separate skill set and does something differently. And in your case, so you're sourcing the deals off people like me, and then you're going ahead, sorting it all out, getting the finance, and then passing it across to your partner to build out. Which is a great. He's doing all the hard work, by the way. You do realise that, don't you?
Some say that.
Some say that. Well, you swan around in your nice car, and everyone thinks it's a great lifestyle, and it's wants to get up in the morning and to go and develop things. But of course, there's a lot more to it than that. As I keep telling my wife, there's a lot more to it, darling, than just getting up in the morning and doing a deal. It's very hard to find the right deals, and it's all about relationships and meeting people you can work with. And Matt, I'm delighted I can work with you, and I'm hoping we can do a lot more deals going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Pleasure. So it doesn't matter what kind of investor or developer you wish to become. You just need to have an interest in what you want to do. There's one thing that unites us all, and that is we all add value to whatever we purchased. Here are some examples of how you can add value and some things you should avoid doing. Property developing is all about adding value. So let's take a simple example of a semi-detached house that perhaps needs refurbishing. But you can do more than that. For instance, has it got a car space? If it hasn't, create one. Creating a car space won't be very expensive and could put up to £20,000 plus onto your property depending where it is. Garaging can be expensive to build, but again, if you want to build a garage, just be careful because they are expensive to build and may not put that much more on a property than you're spending doing so. With regards to cellars, be careful with cellars because they can be very expensive to do. Tanking a cellar, which is what you have to do to make it watertight, can be very, very expensive. So be very cautious about that. I prefer to leave them naked, as it were, and just paint the walls and let someone else think there's a bargain to be had by doing the basement, when sometimes there definitely is not. As for attics, yes, you can go up into the roof. That's quite a good thing to do. But again, just be careful how much it will cost to do. Always speak to the local agent to find out how much more value it will put on it. As for the garden, definitely make sure the fencing is new. It's in good order. You can go up to 6 foot. So if you've got a bit of a dodgy next door neighbour, make sure that the garden looks sharp and the fencing is high. The other thing you've got to be careful of is if there's a problem you can't solve. And having a hoarder next door or someone like that, a difficult neighbour, is something you may not be able to solve. If that is the case, I'd be very cautious about buying the property in the first place, and that's why, of course, you might be offered it. However, if it just needs decorating and things like that, you could offer to decorate it for the owner to make yours look better.